Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dragon Ball Z Megapod presented by Nerdy Jock Productions. That's Kevin Ketchum, aka the Nerdy Jock, who in terms of raw speed is the fastest in the universe.
Boom, baby. And this is my co-host DK, aka the DB Guru, who also is not the original DK. This is probably his fourth or fifth body he switched from. Oh. I don't know. You tell me.
Who knows? Yeah, I've taken many forms, I've had many shapes, I've lived many lives.
Just like Ginyu, he can change forms, but we like the one you're in now, DK. So stick with this body. We like it.
I'll stick for it for now. My hair might change colors a couple of times, as it already has, but we'll see. Yeah. Guys, we are neck deep now into the Namek saga, where last we left off, Goku arrived. He dispensed with Raccoon in stylish fashion, super quick, and then immediately is attacked by Berter and Jace, and he isn't even fighting back, really. He's just kind of casually sidestepping everything they throw at him. I think he does one thing where he does that little breakdance get-up thing and does a ki that blasts them back, and that's about the only thing that he has done so far in retaliation. And of course, Vegeta is starting to suspect that perhaps Goku is the legendary Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan? What could that be? No.
And so picking right up from there, I mean, we're right back into the fight.
Yes.
You got something.
No, just one thing.
Go.
Just so you know, real quick, before we dive deep in these episodes, because we are about to dive deep in the next 10 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, I do need to mention that follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe with us. Follow us on all of our social medias at nerdyjock_media, Nerdy Jock Productions. That is us. We love the comments. We love the interactions with you guys. We love seeing all these Dragon Ball fans coming out and supporting us, and we love supporting you guys. So thanks for your support, and keep supporting us by liking and subscribing and watching all of our content on all the social media platforms, including streaming services for audio.
And please, every time we get something wrong, every time we say something that you disagree with, and you have to let us know, guys, that was the wrong take. Yeah. You don't have it. You missed this detail. You know, perhaps the Saiyans, migrated to the planet Vegeta from their original planet, which actually did have the Tuffle. So perhaps King Kai was actually telling the truth. Whatever your take is, we love to hear it.
We're not perfect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I honestly, too, if I'm being honest, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Where the convergence point of canon and filler is sometimes. What negates what does this, what does that? Was Goku's ship destroyed by Piccolo? Or was it discovered by Dr. Briefs and repurposed for his trip to Namek?
Who knows?
We don't know. Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, but we love hearing from you guys.
We do. So we love interacting with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, so good. So keep it on up. We love you guys. And now to get in the episodes.
So we're right back into the fight with Berter and Jace. Right here.
So just so you know, we're covering episodes 68 through 78. We're only doing 10 episodes today. Sometimes we do 15, but we're just going to keep it a nice even 10. So if you're not caught up, watch the previous episodes or watch along with us as well as we cover 68 through 78.
Which is named Ginyu Assault is the English name of this. It picks up right where we left off, where Goku is battling Jace and Berter, who are doing some pretty stylish attacks. Like they turn into a tornado together, a purple tornado, and they're launching attacks. And Goku is just whatever about the whole thing. And Berter is losing his mind. Lest we forget, about 10 episodes ago, Vegeta chucked a Dragon Ball as hard as he could, and before Gohan and Krillin could even turn around, Berter caught it and returned to Captain Ginyu with it because he's that fast.
They clocked it at 700 miles an hour. So
yeah, it's something crazy.
Super fast.
He likes to say, even though this gets into a weird part of it where power level dictates speed, but in terms of raw speed, he's the fastest in the universe. And Goku is just taunting the shit out of him. He's like, well, I guess now you're the second fastest.
Yeah. Goku's doing some Matrix stuff on these guys, right? He's just dodging left, dodging right, up, down, and these guys are nothing. Not a thing can touch Goku because he might be the fastest right now, right?
Just effortless. It's basically what he did to Nappa, except at Nappa he was pissed off because Nappa killed all of his friends and almost killed his son. Yeah. And the Dragon Balls are gone because of Nappa. But here, Goku has no malice.
Yeah.
He's so pure about it. He's just stating facts. Because he's faster than Berter. Berter's saying, hey, you can't be faster than me. Saiyans aren't fast. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm the fastest in the universe. And Goku's like, well, guess you're the second fastest now, pal. Yeah. And then Burter's like, how could you get so strong? How can a Saiyan get so fast? And he's like, I don't know. I guess because I trained.
Trained, bro. I'm just taunting him relentlessly. It's pretty... It's not Goku-like, but, you know, it's cool to see Goku take this kind of standpoint and more active in his, like... You know, shit talking on the battlefield. You know, like Goku doesn't do it that often. He's usually just jovial and happy, and he's not like angry, but he's just not like he's like, I'm not really amused yet. Like I thought these guys would put up more of a fight. So it's kind of like a little bit of backhanded, you know, disappointment.
A theme that's going to run through all of these episodes is that Goku just speaking purely and speaking facts pisses everybody off. Everyone's like, he is making fun of me so bad right now. Everyone gets so mad at him, and he's just telling the truth.
Yeah, he's just saying, hey, man, faster than you.
Yeah. So he takes Burter out.
Right.
Jace is like...
Knocks him down. Boom.
Hell no, I'm going to go get the captain.
I can't stay around here any longer. Shoo.
I think it's important to mention really quick tangent. Yeah. So something personal about me, as I've mentioned before, when we were watching up to this point, I was revisiting this via Dragon Ball Kai with my girlfriend who had never seen it before. Mm-hmm. So I was revisiting all this stuff with mostly canon. There's a little filler here and there, but mostly canon. But for these episodes, I actually watched the original Japanese version of Z for all 10 of these episodes. And I gotta say...
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really did. The experience of... Okay, so for a lot of people know this already, but for those that don't, when Dragon Ball Kai aired, there was a score that was done by a new composer. I don't know if it was... there were a couple of different composers. One did a different one for the Buu Saga, but from Raditz through Cell, there was a certain composer that did all of the music. And then it turned out that he was plagiarizing all of that music.
Oh my God.
So Toei freaked out. They ripped it out. Unless you watch the original broadcast of DB Kai like I did, or you have, you know, some special little back alley internet connection to do this or something like that. You cannot find a version of Kai that has that original score. So what they did is they just kind of grabbed parts of the Kikuchi score, who's the original composer. I believe Shunsuke Kikuchi is the full name, and they put it into Kai. The problem is they only grabbed a handful of songs. So if you're watching Kai, it's kind of just the same songs over and over and over again. And what I loved about this, and not just hearing the original actors doing their original performances in Japanese, but also hearing such a varied palette of Kikuchi's score. Yeah. Because I mean, like over 80 songs per I don't know, per 100 episodes he composed. Such a variety, so many different colors. I loved it. I loved Head Chala again. Right. And also too, I never really thought about this, but the ending theme song for Dragon Ball Z, the first one, Detekoi Tobikiri Zenkai Power, is one of the most underrated ending theme songs ever.
No, it's great. It's a great theme song. Huge fan of that too. But.
It kind of, in a way, like, as we will explore, I'll come back to it when we're going to the episodes because I'm about to jump back in. I'll get off of this side lane here. But it kind of has an Evangelion quality where something horrific will be happening, and then it just cuts to ooh, miracle Zenkai power. It just gets like super bouncy. It's such a bouncy, happy song.
It's a cool ending song with the globe rolling and Gohan's doing his Gohan thing like he does in the movies. If you've seen the first couple movies, which we do cover pretty recently too.
Right. Yeah. And if you haven't checked those out, I don't know if we've even released those yet.
We don't know.
They're coming. We did them. Dead Zone and World's Strongest, and we'll do Tree of Might eventually. Yeah. So, anyways, jumping right back into this episode.
Because we were on a fucking tear. Yeah, let's go.
Right. So Goku being Goku, after just felling the man who broke his son's neck and felling Burter, looks at them and his first thought is, oh man, I wish I had some more sensu beans to give them.
Typical Goku.
And Vegeta, who since he was a child has been conquering planets and murdering entire civilizations, is like, Kakarot, god damn it, you have to kill them. What the hell is wrong with you? And he's like, why would I kill them? They're asleep. Yeah. There's no point. And then Vegeta reaches the conclusion, you know what? I guess you aren't a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Because a Super Saiyan is supposed to love battle and death above all things.
Savage, brutal killers is the only way in Vegeta's mind he can become a Super Saiyan. In his right now.
Right. And this is a theme that will play out across multiple episodes. And you can even kind of see that maybe this is what Toriyama envisioned Goku was going to become.
Just kind of dropping the seeds. Here's a little Super Saiyan here. Oh, little Super Saiyan there. Just dropping the seeds for Super Saiyans coming out there. A little bit here and there.
Right.
Yep.
So Jace goes and gets Captain Ginyu, tells him the situation.
Like a little bitch.
Goldo is dead.
Flies away.
Birder is dead. Recoome is dead.
Yeah.
Ginyu's like, what the fuck have you guys been doing? Yeah, I left you guys with these weaklings. What the hell happened? He's like, this other dude showed up. It's the craziest thing. He has a power level of 5,000.
Yeah.
And he somehow beat all of us. Should we tell Lord Frieza?
Right.
And Ginyu's like, hell no, we're not telling Lord Frieza, which is an interesting mechanical thing for the world because they are wearing their scouters. And it seemed like earlier established that people were just in constant communication over the scouters. I don't know how it goes.
And they still have them on. So it's a great little point you just put out there too. A couple other things about this episode. Great recap, by the way. Really good recap there, DK. We know that Krillin is like stunned by Goku as well. It's kind of cool to note like Krillin, obviously he gets stunned by Goku, but this was like, hey man, he's like, something's different about you. Not just like powered up, but like you seem like God level power. But not quite, maybe Super Saiyan level, or not quite yet. We'll see. Now, it's crazy. One thing we gotta mention, he did a great recap. It is great though, because this is the first time I noticed when I watched this episode was when Vegeta, like we just talked about, was scolding Goku about being too soft and not killing these guys and being too lenient on them. This is like the first time Goku and Vegeta actually have a back and forth conversation where even though they weren't allies yet, they weren't exactly enemies. It was kind of like, hey man, why are you doing this? Why are you not doing this? Because like every other time they've spoken before this was like, no, I'm going to kill you, Kakarot. Or Goku's like, you know what? You got to leave now.
It was a prelude to them punching each other in the face.
Exactly. This is the first time where they're like, you know what? Let's talk this out for a second. You should kill them, Goku. Why aren't you? You're a pussy. Vegeta's like, and then Goku's like,
I didn't even mention that Vegeta, if you want to get into that. Because I went right into the scolding, but Vegeta does something. Goku's like, we don't need to kill them. And then Vegeta kind of takes matters into his own hands.
Dude, so he does a flying, like, I can only describe it as a WWE move. He does like a 300-foot knee drop to the neck and like smashes Birder's neck. His tongue is like out of his mouth. And you can see this animation of like his like neck just being smashed, cracked in half. It was brutal. Kind of looked like a frog that got run over, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what Birder's anatomy is, but if he has anything like a trachea, he's gone. He's done.
He's done. Dragon Balls are going to bring that guy back to life. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then literally after he does that and kills Birder, he does a just powerful ki blast. He sees Recoome over there, kind of still twitching, butt in the air, doing this thing, and just boom.
Yeah.
Eviscerates him.
That is the operative thing, is that Recoome's butt is in the air and it's facing Vegeta. Yeah. So Vegeta sodomizes Recoome with a beam. Just incinerates him through ki blast sodomy.
Yes.
But Vegeta, in a practical sense, is correct here.
Yeah.
If you grew up your whole life fighting, and he's mentioned before that he's been pushed to near death a couple of times before he came to Earth. You know your enemies are things that you kill. Mm-hmm. That is just how the universe is. Right. So in a practical sense, he is right, which is why we love Goku so much, because he grew up with a pure philosophical look on life. You know, about being fair, about just fighting your hardest, and not needing to go past that point of no return if you don't need to.
Yeah. And so Recoome is eviscerated by Vegeta. And that is basically the episode.
Not quite.
Never mind.
Jace brings Ginyu back.
Yes. I mean, yes. That's to tee up the next episode.
Yeah, it tees up the next episode. Jace brings Ginyu back. And now we're on episode 69, Incredible Force.
Yes.
And
All right.
Jay springs Ginyu. Goku's like, all right, let's team up together. Yeah. But at this point, the Earthlings have all done some stupid shit because Vegeta's like, you should have just let me get my wish. This is dumb. Now, Kakarot, I agree that you are very, very strong, but you are still no match for Frieza. Yeah, Frieza is worlds beyond you. And now he's probably immortal because he has all the Dragon Balls. And the Earthlings are like, I don't think he's made his wish yet.
Yeah.
We're just going to explain how this all works to you, guy that wanted to kill us 5 hours ago. If we're talking about what actually happened in the time, there's a guy who wanted to kill us 5 hours ago. Yeah, the sky gets dark. You know, the sky gets dark. All this stuff happens when the Dragon Ball happens. And then the Earthlings just very candidly, hey, maybe there's a password.
Yeah.
Just like on Earth. You know, and stuff like that. So Vegeta now has hope.
Right.
Secretly. You know, he buries that hope. Oh, maybe I do get to be immortal. Maybe Frieza isn't immortal yet. And so now he's already sort of thinking about how he's going to double cross these new bedfellows that he has, basically, that he wasn't expecting to have.
Yeah. So that's where we're going. I mean, basically, this is definitely another canon episode. All these are canon, by the way. All of these we're covering today are pretty much canon.
With some filler fighting.
A little bit of filler fighting here.
A lot of filler fighting.
But these are cool episodes too, because this one, Incredible Force, is actually Jace, Cheese, I like to call him Cheese. His name is Jace, but whatever. Cheese sits on the sideline. Ginyu wants to challenge Goku. He wants to see his strength. You know, Goku, Ginyu in his defense wants a fair fight. So he's like, no Cheese. Don't get involved in this. Let me fight him one-on-one and see what he's about. And this is before they really get going. Next episode is going to be a little more intense, but at least they're squaring off, and you know something's about to go down. The big fight versus Ginyu and Goku.
It should be noted that at the end of the last episode, 68, it ends with Vegeta taking off. Like, see ya, suckers!
Yeah,
and
he leaves.
Yeah, he takes off, and then, as what often happens in Dragon Ball Z, especially when we're getting into this era where they have to start stretching the run times because they're catching up with the manga, and you can feel them getting a little nervous about it. It starts again with the exact same thing, now animated by a completely different staff. I don't know which studio did this. I don't know who the animators are, but there were some pretty wonky character designs in this episode right at the top. Oh yeah, when Vegeta flew off, Ginyu's like, you're distracted, and then he attacks, and so Goku and him square off.
Yep.
It's a little bit wonky, a lot of repetitive animation, but it is cool in the sense where they are telling a visual story here. Where it does appear that Goku and Ginyu are pretty evenly matched.
Right. It's pretty fun to see these, because we talked about this a couple episodes ago, how it's always good to have a good old measuring stick battle.
Right.
You know, to see where is Goku at. Because we can talk about battle power and scouters all day. But at the end of the day, we want to see, hey, who can actually face off against Goku at his new super strength level now.
Oh, I forgot another thing too in the last episode is we learned something about Ginyu that makes him unique amongst all of the other things where because he looks at Goku's power level and he says, "Oh, it's only 5,000," or Jay says, "It's like that's what I'm telling you, Captain." I didn't actually I didn't watch it dubbed, but I remember that the English performance oscillates between Australian and Irish. So, that's what I've been telling you, Captain.
And I enjoy both of them. That's fantastic.
Okay, we'll just call it a pirate accent. You know, it's one of those like in between accents. And
but evidently,
and Ginyu correctly guesses he's like you're an idiot. This guy's power level is probably closer to 60,000.
Right.
You know, obviously he can suppress his power. So Ginyu has the ability not only to know that Goku is suppressing his power, but to accurately guess his power level.
Well, no, but Ginyu can also lower his power levels.
Right.
That was a big point.
That's true.
Because Ginyu says, no, I can do that too. He's like, I'm suppressing my power. And that's when that's before they want to really start fighting. He's like, hey, I want to see what you can really do.
And Goku's no match for him. Once he powers up, and then...
So this is sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Quick and interesting note is that Goku does... he's getting hit on by, not hit on, like, oh, I want to take you on a date.
Hey, Goku.
Hey, Ginyu. No. So he gets him, so Ginyu is actually landing some punches on Goku. First time on planet Namek anyone's even touched him, actually. So Ginyu is actually kind of doing some damage to Goku when they start fighting and battling it out.
Yeah, he's actually giving Goku a run for his money, which is cool to see. We have this funny shot of Vegeta flying away, and there's like these a two-headed dragon in the water. There's a lot of weird floral and fauna added to Namek and all these filler shots, and Vegeta incorrectly guesses that Goku and Ginyu are about the same level. Right. But then when we cut back to Jace is like, this dumb saying, I don't care how strong he is, the captain has a power level of 120,000.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so Ginyu is like, at this point, he's like, hey, he's kind of egging him on. He wants to see what's going on here, right? So,
right.
I think Ginyu.
Goku tries to do his pose.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing.
So Ginyu does this kind of pose with his knee up, and he's like, no, wrong leg. And Goku tries to mimic him too. He's like, oh, is this how you do it? And it's a little funny gag moment that you get from Goku being Goku as well. But it's cool because Ginyu said, okay, power up. I want to see your power level. Let's stop the shenanigans. You're stronger than this. So he does Kaioken. He asks him to, power up.
Well, first too, another theme that's going to come up a lot is Bulma, the misadventures of Bulma.
Right.
So Bulma is fixing some machine. I think it's what she's using to communicate with Earth. She sees all the Dragon Balls are in one place, and she gets on a hover bike, and she just blasts off. And then we'll cut back to that later because we don't see where she's going. It cuts to the shot of an atomic bomb mushroom cloud, which is an attack that Ginyu just performed against Goku. As their fight does, but then as you say, he eggs Goku on. Yeah. Oh, if you can get stronger than this, why don't you show me?
Prove it. Yeah. So he's powering up, and he's like, obviously he's like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then up to 100,000. He's like, oh wow. At this point, Ginyu is kind of he's kind of freaking out. He's like, oh crap, this guy's got a power level equivalent to mine, and now it's even higher than mine.
Right.
And he's still going ding, 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 120, 140, 160. What? 180. And he gets up to 180,000 power level, battle power level.
Yeah.
And that's when Ginyu realizes he's got to change his strategy because this guy's maybe 2 or 3 times stronger than him.
He should have, and Goku too, still being the pure innocent dude he is and unintentionally taunting. When Ginyu is egging him on, he's like, yeah, just take a good look in that device and see how strong I am.
Yep.
And just starts powering up. When he reaches that max power level, Ginyu's like, it's over 180,000.
Yes, it was impressive.
He does not say that. Yeah. So one thing that's cool narratively about Goku needing to use the Kaioken is that we're told several things, both in the past and now contemporaneously, that Goku is not as strong as Ginyu. He needs the Kaioken in order to contend with Ginyu. But Goku's body is stronger, so he can withstand Kaiokens that are even higher than a 3 times now. Right. So that's interesting. But we also know that Ginyu is absolutely no match for Frieza. So even though Goku's measuring stick of power, which is this Kaioken, where he can use it to temporarily surpass the power of Ginyu, it's still in our minds, the seed has been planted that he is still no match for Frieza. So there is still a tension there of what are they going to do once we get to the actual Frieza fight?
Yeah, because base Goku is equivalent to about Ginyu at this point. Without Kaioken.
No, base he's half of Ginyu's power.
Yeah, half of Ginyu power. Yeah. I'm sorry, half.
Yeah, no worries. So it's a really interesting Kaioken too because it makes the surrounding planets tremble. When he starts doing it, it just cuts to these other planets and they're just like,
right.
And then he starts doing it. Take a good look in that device, and that launches us right into episode 70. Frieza approaches.
Dun dun dun. Okay.
So this is when we reveal what his power level is. This is when Goku surpasses it. And there's a bunch of non-canon stuff where Ginyu is having a panic attack, and he's firing little ki blasts at Goku, whose Kaioken aura is enough to just deflect those. And Ginyu's like, no, how can this be? No. Which, his Japanese voice, it's very suave, I gotta say. He's always kind of got a monster voice in English, but the Japanese voice, he just sounds very regal, almost posh, I would say.
I like it.
It's great.
I think it's fantastic. It's sometimes it's hard for me to go back from the Japanese to the dub, but
There's a lot of racism against Saiyans in space, isn't there, too? Because
so much racism against Saiyans in space.
Jason Ginyu just continuously, how can a Saiyan be more powerful than we are?
Yeah, it's surprising and alarming how much people talk about how crappy Saiyans are. But then again, they don't have the best reputation.
No.
I mean, like, let's be real. If we can look at the history of Saiyans and not any kind of retcons or side plots, I mean, Saiyans in general are known to be really vicious, brutal, nomadic, people.
Aside from Vegeta, I mean, the only other living Saiyans were Nappa and Raditz, and Raditz was as strong as the Cybermen.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, that would be pretty pathetic if you were as strong as the Cybermen. Yeah. Unless you were Goldo and you could freeze time or some shit. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. So, I mean, Goku's just powering up. We're getting into the territory again where they're just going to elongate power-ups and battles moving forward. They're catching up and they're looking to fill as much time as they can. The misadventures of Bulma continues. She finds a random village of slaughtered Namekians, possibly the one that Vegeta did.
This is a tough sequence here, too,
Yeah.
Hits you hard.
Cradles a dead Namekian child in her arms.
That's not easy, but...
Just really,
brutal moment.
Brutal moment. Don't know why she's there. She was following the Dragon Radar to the Dragon Balls, which would have taken her to Frieza's ship. She finds this Namekian village. She cradles a child, and then she immediately goes back to camp. Yeah. She's like, "I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done. I've seen too many things in my life. I can't go on."
I mean, in this episode, Frieza does kind of play a bigger part again. So maybe Bulma going to the Namekian village and picking up that child is just kind of like a reminder of the gravity and the stakes of dealing with Frieza. Is that, if there's Frieza, there's usually death not too far away.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that experience admonished her against
exactly
going after the Dragon Balls. She's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Bulma, just stay in your cave for now. I hate to say it. I love Bulma, but this is not the place for her. She's a pilot and they don't need a pilot right now.
She's a genius.
Yeah.
Love her. She single-handedly retrofitted Piccolo's original ship, or Kami/Piccolo, whatever the name of that Namekian was. The original ship made it so she could fly it, and she turned it around in 7 days. Yeah.
She's a badass.
She's a badass, but she ain't ready for this Namekian genocide.
This is not her lane.
No, she's not. She's not playing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the piece of shit Nail, who was supposed to help the Earthlings, returns to the Grand Elder, and the Grand Elder's like, "Nail, did I not command you to help the Earthlings?" And he said, "Yeah, but I kind of need to be here." And the Grand Elder's just like, "All right."
Yeah.
and that's the end of that exchange.
Yeah, I was gonna make a cool joke about it. I was like, "But your soup was on the pot, was in the pot, and it was getting cold." But he doesn't eat soup, so that's a dumb Namekian joke right there, Kevin. All right, back to the drawing board on that one.
Right. I mean, he could have messed up Raccoon.
Yep.
We know because he's got a power level of 42,000.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's
pretty good.
It's not. Yeah, it's
better than Raccoon.
It's respectable.
Yeah, better than Raccoon, better than Birder, better than Jace. I mean, is he as fast as Birder? Yeah. Birder's the fastest in the universe in terms of raw speed. Yeah.
You're not going to be a starter, but you're going to be on the roster. You'll be up, in the bench unit. You'll be stepping up, pretty quickly.
And there's more filler. Gohan and Krillin arrive back at the camp, and of course, Bulma isn't there. There was a fun little world building thing that was kind of dark there, that there is a dartboard up of Yamcha's face in the camp that has a bunch of darts sticking out of it. And lest we forget, Yamcha just died a month ago.
He's still dead.
Yeah, he's still dead.
He's not revived yet. Yeah, he's dead.
And Bulma's like, "Oh, I still can't forgive him for playing baseball." She's still so pissed. She makes a dartboard of him. It's super funny. So Ginyu Goku's powering up.
Yeah.
And Ginyu
full power. He's going to full power. Fuck it.
Yeah, now Ginyu, yes-anding Vegeta, is like, "Holy shit, this must be a Super Saiyan."
Right.
This resolves all of the problems I have with a Saiyan being this powerful, being stronger than me. He must be a legendary Super Saiyan. And Goku's like,
dropping the seeds.
He's like, "Vegeta said something about that. I don't know what you guys are talking about."
Oh, whatever's the Super Saiyan deal. I don't know. Who knows? But just plant the seeds because it's going to happen.
And then something happens where Goku basically tells Ginyu, like, look, you don't have to fight me.
Yeah.
If you leave peacefully right now, I'll forgive you. And he's being genuinely nice. He's being sincere.
Which I love. That's what I love about Goku. Like, Goku is always there to, with empathy, love, and an open heart. Like, that's
Right.
Goku's character trait. It makes him so cool.
Unfiltered honesty.
Yeah, just like, hey, I don't want to hurt you. Just leave now, or we could spar and then not kill each other and then go on about our way. But
Right. But of course, the way it's taken
Yeah.
is, what, you don't want to hurt us?
yeah,
How dare you? And we had seen something earlier. We forgot to mention it, but at one point, Ginyu had Goku in a full Nelson,
Right.
because Jace intervened, and then Ginyu let it go because he's like, that's not fair.
yeah.
And Goku right here, he's like, you know what? You're not such a bad guy. Like, you believe in fairness. I'll let you go if you just leave. And Ginyu isn't having that at all,
Right.
which is super funny.
So where are we at with Dende and all those guys?
So Frieza, so the Elder Namek awakens Dende's inner power because he's like, because he realizes, oh, I forgot to tell the Earthlings about the password.
Yep.
Dende helped them. He awakens Dende's inner power, so Dende can now fly with an aura.
Yeah.
He flies past Frieza, who's just casually flying in his little flying machine, which we will see later is so much slower than he can actually fly.
It's very similar to Goku on his Nimbus.
It's an exact rhyme of that bullshit.
Same deal.
I mean, time is of the essence. I guess Frieza might not feel pressed for time because he's like, the Ginyu Force is here. Who's gonna mess with them?
Yeah.
So he's just casually driving his old beater all the way across the planet. I think it's a 3-hour journey.
I mean, based on the episodes, it takes him a hell of a long time to get back. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
so Dende and he fly past each other.
Right.
Frieza decides to let Dende live. Big mistake.
Yep.
Shouldn't do that. And then he arrives at the Grand Elder's place, and then we have a little bit of interaction with Nail, which is cool because again, Frieza is super polite.
Yeah.
He's very, very polite, which adds to his sinister thing. His power is immeasurable. We know he's way stronger than the strongest people that we've seen.
Strongest.
And he's just like, excuse me, I have collected your Dragon Balls, and it occurs to me that I don't know how to use them. Could you kindly tell me how to use them?
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of filler where 3 random Namekians show up, and they're like, we didn't die in the genocide. Have at thee, Frieza.
Yeah. So these guys, we're just gonna skip right past these dudes. There's just waste
just like Frieza did. He just makes a tornado.
It's like there's no point. Yeah. He just kills them all and they're dead. Like those guys, you're pouring out for the last 3 of the warriors on the planet. It was like Larry, Curly, and Mo. So the 3 stooges.
Right.
Plus Nail. And Nail's the only one of who actually matters in this fight anyway. And even to that degree is questionable at this point.
So Frieza meets the Grand Elder.
Right.
Grand Elder is like psychically communicating to Nail. Nail, hold out as long as you can.
It's like, but go fight somewhere away from us.
Yeah, go. So we need to elongate my life so the Earthlings can get their wish.
Yep.
But Nail, being the fucking piece of shit that he is, we're gonna see how well he does with that.
He's a punching bag for sure.
Yeah,
He tries.
He was supposed to help with the Earthlings, doesn't do it,
Yeah.
and he's gonna do something later that is the stupidest thing he could possibly do.
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of cool, I kind of like Nail. I mean,
If you like Piccolo, you're gonna have to like Nail.
he's like a super Piccolo. So yeah, he's cool. So they take off, they leave. And now we're into episode 71. Goku is Ginyu, and Ginyu is Goku.
All right.
We finally get to see a little bit of how strong Frieza is. There's some very awkward animation in this episode as well. The character models are way off. It looks like Ebisawa. If you remember that sheet from our previous episode, maybe we'll put it up here. The elongated faces and way bulbous tops of heads and stuff like that. It's just very, it's crazy. But Ginyu is a little bit elated now. He's having a manic episode because Goku is so strong.
Yeah. Goku's been kind of Kaioken pumped up. He's capable of doing almost everything he thinks. Ginyu is like, hey, this body, this might be a good body to take over. I don't know.
So he's having that manic episode. He's like, I'm so happy. I think he even says, I'm so happy I found somebody who is stronger than I am.
Yeah, he's stoked. because he's got a special ability, which he's about to use pretty soon.
Right.
And he's going to shake up the world of Dragon Ball for a few episodes.
For a few episodes. For exactly a few episodes.
For exactly a few episodes.
Meanwhile, Nail leads Frieza away. Frieza's like, how far are you taking us? Yeah. Never mind, this is far enough. He gets down.
4 hits. Like 4 or 5 hits, and it's like, it's done.
He measures Nail's power. He's like, oh, it's a pretty respectable power level. 42,000. I wish you were among my ranks. But I should let you know that I have a power level of 530,000.
Yes.
So 5 times, give or take. I know it's not perfect math, but give or take, 5 times stronger than Captain Ginyu, who is twice as strong as Goku at his base level. So now we finally see just how powerful he is. Nail launches an attack, and Frieza just casually rips his arm off.
Yep. As usual, Mechians and their arms getting ripped off, man. Like, what's our arm counter right now on Dragon Ball? At least there's, well, Tien's doesn't grow back, but there's Tien's arm knocked off, Piccolo's arm earlier in the series as well, and now Nail's. So that's 3 arms already gone since Dragon Ball Z started.
You know, we talked before about how in the original dub, to lower the stakes, Tien has a line when his arm gets knocked off where he's like, you just wait till it grows back. But then I remembered that might actually be canon because in
Dragon Ball,
he grows 4 extra arms out of his back.
He does.
Yeah,
he does the kind of Spider-Man deal, right?
He does. Yeah.
Oh my God, like the Doc Ock, or when he becomes, I can't remember the name of the spider, where he actually does become like a Spider-Man. So that is a canon move, maybe on Tien's part. Yeah, but maybe it's just not the same one. Maybe it's like right underneath, like a Goro kind of thing, you know?
That would suck like if he had asynchronous arms after. So,
and he's like this.
He's like, fight me! Yeah, I've got one arm down here and one up here.
He's just like, Tien, just come on, bro. Just stop. Just stop.
Anyways, Nail gives Frieza the famous neck chop.
Right.
It's a famous frame in the manga where Frieza just kind of exposes his carotid artery or whatever alien equivalent he has of that. Yep. He's just like, ho, 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 like his little laugh, and it's just nothing to him. He does not even care. That's when he tears his arm off. Yeah. It's that neck chop. So
I mean, all the same sequence anyway.
So it would cut to more filler of Bulma on the hover bike, where she is chased by the original pterodactyl that kidnapped her in episode 1 of Dragon Ball, and the scarred T-Rex that Gohan tortured on Earth. Somehow they found their way to Namek.
I don't know.
Gohan and Krillin rescue her.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, I think from now on, I don't think we need to mention the Bulma, like the stuff that's not manga from now on with this. Starting next episode, we're going to cover this later. We'll talk about at the end. But from now, we're going to try to cut out a lot of the filler too. Sure. Because I think, you know, we don't need to go there now.
We'll get really into the weeds if we can do that.
Yeah, if we do this filler, then it's just going to be a lot. But starting next episode, we were going to wait to the end of the episode to tell you. But you know what? If you're here in the middle or near end, thank you for watching. And next week, we're going to turn to the manga exclusively. Right. I mean, I'm going to watch the anime too, but we're going to be referring to the manga because it's going to be like the Dragon Ball Z Kai version, but even leaner than that.
Right, because if we were to do Z, it would just the fight from the time that Frieza shows up to the end of the Frieza fight. Right. It's over 30 episodes.
Over 30 episodes.
Or 30-ish episodes. It's a lot.
Yeah. So we decided, you know, off pod last week, we were like, hey, you know what? Once we're almost there. We're almost to Frieza, which is some great stuff. But we think we should probably use the manga instead. It's going to be a better reference point because like there's going to be a lot of Bulma, Ginyu, Frog, stuff like that.
It's a lot of just punch and kick. It's like
charge it up.
If we did an episode, it's like, okay, Goku screamed for 22 minutes in this episode,
and that's literally what we say about the episode.
Right, exactly.
So we are going to be moving it forward. So we'll do a little bit now. We'll cut out a little of the filler, but we're going to keep it pretty much intact.
All right, and so I will no longer mention the misadventures of Bulma.
No, sorry. I mean, do you guys? I mean, I don't know if do you guys want to hear that? Let us know in the comments. We want to keep it all in, but at the same time, I was like, it's just one thing after another with the Bulma stuff. So we'll just say Bulma's having adventures.
Yeah, Bulma's having adventures, but she does get back to camp.
Right.
And she does meet up with Gohan and Krillin, who take the Dragon Radar. They let her know that Goku has arrived. And she starts fantasizing about little kid Goku.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, wow, I didn't know that Sun-kun, like, I didn't know that he would grow up to be so handsome. I guess I blew it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't fall in love with a child.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why the Bulma filler right now is not so important.
That's true.
Yeah.
So moving along, this episode ends with Ginyu performing his body change, which leads us into episode 72, calling the Eternal Dragon.
Oh God, I don't think we even really hit the body change, did we? Though we didn't really talk about it. Okay, so basically,
I think it happens right at the end of the episode.
Okay, it's at the very end of the episode. Then it goes right into calling the Eternal Dragon. So basically, Ginyu does this technique where he this yellow light. He basically switches his souls with another body. So it's like it's a transference that happens. As soon as his projects out, if it hits it, it's got to touch the beam. It's a white light, yellow light of beam of his like spirit energy going to the other body. And so if you get caught in that beam, you are in trouble because it's going to transport your energy, your soul, your ki into the other person, and it's going to be a transference. And that's basically what happens. So he catches Goku off guard, and Goku gets put into Ginyu's body. But what happens is Ginyu assaults himself. Like
right.
He hurts himself. He takes his left hand and he jabs it right through his chest. So he does this huge, deep, gaping chest hole injury there, just to give to Goku to weaken him for when Ginyu takes over Goku's body.
Mortally wounds himself just so that he can trap Goku in a decrepit, mortally wounded body.
Smart move. I mean, not a bad move. I mean, respectable from a bad guy perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so what happens from here is, Ginyu escapes with Goku's body. So he's got his body. And Gohan and Krillin, they have left and they're looking for the Dragon Balls at Frieza's ship now.
And Vegeta has already arrived.
Yes.
And there's a scene where he's just murdering all of Frieza's henchmen.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're following him. He's like, hey, thank you for standing in a line. Boom.
Yeah.
Just kills all of them.
Really cool. I love, quick tangent, real quick, is that I do love the fight. The Vegeta loves blowing shit up on the ship. Right. Blowing shit up on the ship is Vegeta's specialty, actually. Should write that down. But he just loves to do the energy key. It goes around, it's a circular ship, and just kills basically everything in its path.
Right.
Really cool, fun moments for Vegeta as well.
He gets some new digs. He gets the shortened armor.
My fave.
So Vegeta's on this murder spree. There's some cool animation right here of Jace flying and Ginyu Goku kind of flying circles around him. Yeah. Just really enjoying this new body.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's cool, and it's fun to notice because you got to realize that Ginyu can't use. He still uses a scouter, so he can sense. I don't. Why does he though? Because he can sense energy, right? Or he knows.
Yeah, maybe it's different.
Yeah, I don't know. But maybe he's not used to the body yet. But he does. What Goku is wearing a scouter on Goku's face, which is an odd thing to see. But it does let you know. Basically, it's a visual cue to say this is actually Captain Ginyu and not Goku, of course.
Right, and Goku in Ginyu's body is trying to chase them, but being mortally wounded, he can't even really fly straight. He's just crashing into mountains. He's getting hurt. It's not good.
Not good. He's struggling there, guys. It's the worst flying you can see. It's like I couldn't even know what to say. It's just like a bird with one wing kind of thing. Pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah. But one thing I forgot to mention earlier that we didn't touch on that we should have touched on, but I think it's slight, is that the Dragon Radar. Is that what did they go see Bulma to get the Dragon Radar?
They did, yeah. They went back to
That's
the camp.
What they went to get.
We did touch on that. Yeah, okay. they got that. They told her Goku's back, and then she has that little memory about Goku. And
so what Vegeta doesn't know is that the Dragon Balls have been buried by Ginyu and Chase earlier in the couple episodes before.
Right.
So that's why Gohan and Krillin go back to Frieza's ship, because that's where the Dragon Balls are, because they know they need to get those Dragon Balls to make the wish while Ginyu is distracted and Vegeta's hiding.
Right.
And that's where we're at.
And Vegeta's like, all right, find the Dragon Balls for me. Say the password, because they told him earlier the password. They dig up the Dragon Balls. They're like, hooray, we found them. And then I
love this scene, by the way.
They waste a bunch of time going, wow, it really has been an adventure. All the little things that have happened along the way. I got my neck broken.
Oh, gee whiz.
All that stuff. And Vegeta is like the audience here. Like, just shut up and make a wish, damn it.
Come on.
Or do it. And so
time is wasting.
And then Krillin says the infamous words, "Come forth, Shenlong, and grant my wish."
And he does a really cool action sequence with this. It's kind of, I laughed.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he has like a very cheerleading move. He does this, "Come forth, eternal dragon." He does like a spin and just,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
a whole hip hip hurrah kind of deal with summoning Shenlong or Purunga, whichever, the Namekian.
Which they think it's still Shenlong at this point.
They don't know it's
And
Purunga.
Vegeta is just like, it was that fucking simple, really? Okay.
Like, that's it, huh?
And they're waiting.
What happens?
They're kind of giving each other the side eye while they're smiling, and they're like, "Oh, damn it! Maybe there's a different password for these Dragon Balls."
Like, don't. And I mean, I get it, guys. I get it. You guys, they had to have thought about that. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's a different planet. They speak a different language. I mean, everything's different here. You guys should have known better than that. I don't know. I'm not going to cut Gohan and... I mean, they've been fighting for their lives, but I think I can't cut them any more slack on that. They should have had this kind of thought out a little bit better.
I think the Grand Elder in general was not a great ally. He should have helped them.
I mean, commies in general, they're not against you, but they're not really doing too much to help you.
That's true.
Like, they're going to give you the treasure map, but they're like, oh, go figure it out yourself,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, their wish doesn't get granted, and... Now they've run out of time because Ginyu / Goku and Jace arrive at the camp. And of course, they don't know that the body changes occurred.
Because Goku is Ginyu and Ginyu is Goku.
Right. And so Krillin's like, "Goku, what's up, bro?"
Hey buddy.
And Goku, who speaks with Ginyu's voice and has his scouter on. And Krillin, this is maybe the first time that Krillin's ever been a dumbass.
Yeah, he's usually smarter than this.
Yeah, but he might be sleep deprived. It's been a couple days since he slept, and he's like, "What are you talking about, bro?"
Yep.
And then Gohan's the first one who notices it.
He's like, "That's not my dad's energy."
And then Krillin just gets slapped.
Boom. Smacked her on the face.
Down, and then Goku arrives in Ginyu's body.
Yep.
And wait, is that in this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Goku arrives in Ginyu's body, and Gohan has this terrifying little fantasy of living with Captain Ginyu and riding on Nimbus with Captain Ginyu.
Just a great moment, too, though. It's pretty funny.
It is a pretty funny bit. And Ginyu is, "I'm going to kill all of you guys."
Yep.
But Goku, right before the episode break, says, "I don't think you're going to be able to use that body."
Right.
Just, planting some seeds, laying in a little trail of breadcrumbs, which leads us right into episode 73. Gohan. Oh, wait, Goku starts powering up. That's right. Ginyu starts powering up.
And
and then episode 70.
It's noticeable that, I don't know if it's an animation sequence just for this episode, but it is notable that Ginyu's energy force power up, it's a different kind of color and key than like Goku's normal energy too.
It's a golden aura.
It's a different golden aura. So maybe it's more of a Ginyu thing, or maybe it's just hey, this is what the animation we're going to do for this episode. I really don't know. Great question.
They did have to make it look different.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. So episode 73, which let's see again. It's called Gohan Defeat Your Dad.
Oh yeah.
I love the Japanese name of this episode.
Yeah.
Pretty similar though. It's "That ain't me, Gohan. Don't lose your nerve. Hit your father." That's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
So after Ginyu powers up, there's this funny little bit where he's like, "Jace, what is my power level?" And Jace is like, "It's only 23,000.
Yeah. That was actually the cliffhanger from the last episode. Was like, I don't know, he was powering up, and then he's like, "What's his power level?" And then you hear the voiceover, and it's pretty cool because he's like, "What? Wait, what's going on?" And you think, he thinks it's going to be like somewhere like 157,000,
Right. Or 180,
And it turned out to be what again?
It was 23,000.
Which is more than I thought he would
It's
get.
lower than Goku's base power level of 60,000 at this point. Which then I love that Krillin does this because Krillin just immediately starts attacking Ginyu and Goku's body right here.
Right.
And this is something that where Krillin is no stranger to punching Goku in the face. They have one of my favorite fights in all of the canon, which at the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai, they fight each other, and it's a great fight. And even Goku says in that fight, "This is the most fun I've ever had in a fight." And it might still be. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, he might have had more fun fighting people in Super or something like that.
We're definitely going to have to do Dragon Ball eventually.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just beating him up. And he just starts kicking the shit out of Goku. And Goku's cheering him on, like, yeah, you could probably beat him right now. You guys are around that thing. Gohan is reluctant at first, but manages to join in. And then the rest of the episode, there is a lot of recycled battle animation.
Right.
It's just punchy, kiki, just over and over and over again. Yeah, it happens a lot. Character models oscillate in this episode between good and bad pretty quickly. You can tell that the resources were stretched pretty thin. But one cool moment in this episode is Vegeta attacks Jace.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. So Vegeta attacks Jace, and Vegeta's like, hey, Jace, or Cheese, as I like to call him. Cheese says, he's like, he thinks he can handle Vegeta, but Vegeta's like, dude, he's like, I just recovered from another near-death experience.
Right.
By this point, you should realize I'm much more stronger than you. And Vegeta being the badass, and like, I love it when he's cocky.
Yeah.
He's like, go ahead, check your scouter, bitch.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he aged Goku's line.
Yeah, he's like, no, check it out. He's like, I'm 100 times stronger than I was last time because I died and I've already recovered. So like, or near death, and I already recovered, and now I'm 3 times as strong as you. So whatever chance you thought you had to beat me, you don't have that anymore.
Right.
And it proves to be true. So without even more than a couple punches, Vegeta destroys Cheese.
And there's a cool little like horror film sequence too where they go inside of Frieza's ship and
he punches him in the wall.
Punches the steam, and there's the silhouette and the steam and all that stuff.
Alien Terminator vibes,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's more talk right here, some more world building stuff about a Super Saiyan delighting in death in battle.
Yeah.
And this is a theme that it keeps coming up again and again and again and again and again.
You see those seeds? That's the Super Saiyan seeds, just kind of planting the seeds.
You have to wonder if this is what Toriyama was originally going to do with Super Saiyan. Because there's a moment later, I know we tend to jump around past, future, whatever. There's a moment that's coming up later that implies that, yes, this is what he was going to do, that he was going to eventually turn Goku into the opposite of himself, a bloodthirsty killer.
Wow.
When he's Super Saiyan, which I think would have really actually upped the stakes for that. You get this massive power up, but it comes at the price of your own humanity. Everything that Goku learned on Earth, all of his purity, all of his philosophy, just goes out the door in full surrender to this primal inner Super Saiyan thing. That would have been interesting. I mean, it would be a fun
trope.
what if.
I mean, it's definitely a trope. It's been used before, but that would be a cool thing to see. But I guess like he kind of already has that when he is in Uzaru form. So anytime they're in Uzaru, that's a lot more like that. But it would be cool to see him having to overcome his anger and rage that does happen when he becomes a Super Saiyan. Like that would be. I would love to see that. I mean, I guess,
that as an arc, where he overcomes the rage eventually.
Like Broly does. That's like, I think that's the best example.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Especially from the movies, and then Super. He's really shown that he's matured, and that's one of the tangent. One of the first few characters that really does have a very like I'm gonna emotionally grow to help my strength become restraint and under control. But I think that's kind of, I'm assuming the Broly would be like how original Super Saiyan was. And actually, Broly film was called the Legendary Super Saiyan. Right. So
and that's the implication that that there is a different kind of Super Saiyan that Broly embodies, which is this person that delights in death and destruction.
Oh, I didn't realize you were getting that. Is that what you already mentioned? I'm sorry.
No. You mentioned it.
Okay.
But meanwhile, Nail is just still getting his ass kicked by Frieza.
Nail's getting his ass kicked.
That's going on there. Mm-hmm. Ginyu is starting to get used to Goku's body and starts actually giving punishment back to Gohan and Krillin. Goku's like, shit, he's getting used to my body. Yep. And the tides are turning. There's a little bit of tension. Goku. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. There is a moment that I think is filler where Goku and Ginyu's body decides to join in the fight, and Gohan and Krillin do a little pose thing, kind of Ginyu Force-esque, which I thought was pretty cool.
It was cool. It was fun. I laughed. Yeah, it got a chuckle from me at least.
Still a lot of wonky off-model character designs in this episode too. Like it comes up a lot.
I mean, they didn't. It happens more. I think the wonky character designs happen 20 more episodes down the road in the Frieza fight, like Frieza Goku. There's a lot of crazy stuff. right now, I did watch these episodes last couple days, and it didn't really bother me as much as I thought it would. And I didn't think it was that terrible. I mean, coming by the end, when Frieza comes to fight Krillin and Gohan, it's actually back to like superb again.
Oh yeah,
for the first couple fights. But
totally.
But there is definitely some inconsistencies in the animation as well. You're right.
Oh yeah. We're in episode 74,
Right.
Which is titled Captain Ginyu ... the Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the last episode, Vegeta, who has now killed Jace, he's like, "You guys are useless." He just starts beating the shit out of Goku and Ginyu's body because it's a 2-for-1 for him.
Right.
He can get rid of Goku and Ginyu in one battle.
Yeah, Vegeta's taking great pleasure in this moment.
Yeah, he's just kicking the shit out of him.
And you kind of get worried. You kind of get worried that like Vegeta might just kill him. You know?
Right.
You really do think it could happen.
And then Ginyu decides to perform a body change.
A second body swap.
With Vegeta. Mm-hmm. And Goku, injured though he may be, manages to jump in the way. Yep. And he gets his body back. And Gohan can tell immediately. He's like, "Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome."
We did tell you, a couple episodes, that's the Ginyu body swap thing, and then it's going forward.
Right.
I do think it's important to mention here that like when these episodes were coming out, this is like when Funimation, like this whole era arc, when Funimation started making their own VHS tapes and the DVDs.
Right.
And you saw Ginyu on the Kentoon.
Right.
and this is like, and so when they released these episodes, they played these ones over and over and over.
That's
we talked
true.
about that earlier, but I think this part of the Frieza saga and the Ginyu era, right when they do the body swap, these 4 or 5 episodes, there's 3 or 4 episodes, is just, I remember them being on TV constantly and not getting another one. I think there must have been some point where it's like, oh, we got to wait until the next group came. But it's like 6 months or a year later, I feel. I could be totally wrong here, but I remember that being like just the longest time ever to get to the episodes where Goku gets his body back.
They were really rushed to get these out too. I mean, when they moved their production in-house. It
felt like forever.
I've listened to the Funimation actors talk a lot about what the production was like, how little the pay was, and just how quick it was. Those episode orders. Once we had this amazing advent in anime called Toonami,
right?
Which
I never got to see Toonami, by the way. Just so you guys know,
no way.
Because he keeps talking about Toonami. So I didn't have cable growing up, man. So like I didn't
either.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Toonami. So like I was just like, whatever, bro. It sucked because my friends had Toonami, but I really wasn't over there that much.
So you were just watching off of tapes,
dude. I had to watch off tapes. I didn't get the Toonami stuff. And then when Trunks comes and that little Garlic Jr. in the Trunks era, that was like I had to wait for tapes for that too. So any of that stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
$30 for 4 episodes too.
And then I had to wait like 3 months for another tape. So for me, it was a long, arduous, hell-bent process. It hurt. I'm just glad I can watch them all now on Crunchyroll. Thank you.
I didn't have cable either. It's like any time I went to a friend's house that had Cartoon Network, and also too, my cable provider back home didn't have Cartoon Network for every house, so you had to have a friend that had satellite because satellite had Cartoon Network, and then you could watch Toonami.
See, that's cool.
Yeah,
you know? But I didn't get that. I got Reboot a little bit sometimes. But that was like that. But we don't need to go there right now.
Let's talk about Beast Wars.
Cool show too.
I do love Beast Wars. Beast Wars is great.
Cheetor.
So Ginyu is determined to steal Vegeta's body. He is determined. Goku tries to do a Kamehameha, but he's too beat up.
It just says,
it's
a wonky Kamehameha.
Flies around and whatever.
And then he passes out, basically. He just falls back, so I can't move.
Ginyu is powering up the body change, but Vegeta just starts kicking his ass. Yep. But then Ginyu's like, you know what? This isn't so bad. Damage me some more so that when I finally do get the jump on you, you're going to be at death's door.
Yeah. A wiser warrior would have realized, hey, something's up here. So he's not fighting back. And he's smiling at me.
Right.
But Vegeta, being cocky and arrogant as he is, says, oh, I love this opportunity. Let's just keep beating on Ginyu.
And I was impressed in this episode, in contrast to the last episode where there was a lot of recycled battle animation, there was a lot of variation in the fight between Vegeta and Ginyu. It really flows all over the place. I don't remember if there were any cuts that actually repeated.
Right.
It was a very good time. It was a very good fight. Ginyu jumps up in the air. He performs the body change. Goku grabs a frog. He tosses it. Ginyu goes inside the frog's body.
Does his best Nolan Ryan.
Right. And then Vegeta figures out that Ginyu's the frog. He's about to kill him.
Yep.
And Goku's like, let him go, Vegeta. He can't do anything now. And Vegeta goes, you know what? You're right. That's actually the most evil thing to do.
Yeah.
And so he lets him go. And he's like, I pity the life that you will live henceforth.
But obviously we know, if we've seen all these episodes, Ginyu Frog, he's here to stay.
Yeah.
For a while.
Ginyu Frog is now... he's now a character.
He's a character.
He's here to stay. We're gonna skip all the filler where there's a bunch of stuff with Ginyu Frog.
Tons of Ginyu Frog.
He gets assaulted by a pink frog in this episode. Immediately Pepe Le Pew style. He's just like getting chased.
Oh yeah, kind of reminds me of Trouble in Arlia back in the day.
Oh yeah,
with the pink. It's my love. That lady.
yeah. Female aliens in Dragon Ball Z are just pink.
They're all pink.
That's it, and they all have lipstick for some reason.
All right, you want to knock out next episode 75?
I think we're still a little bit in 74. There's
really
tiny bit left to do. There's a great horrific scene where Gohan and Krillin are bringing Goku's injured body through Frieza's ship and just seeing all the people that Vegeta killed, and it plays this epic part of the Kikuchi score. And they're just like, wow, man, Vegeta. Yeah.
I touched on that earlier on accident. So I kind of jumped the gun on that because you do see all the bodies piling up, which is cool. Very Terminator 2-esque, just dead bodies everywhere, which is great because guess what? In the English, in the American version, they erased all those bodies for the most part, I think.
Oh, did they? I didn't have Toonami. I didn't have these tapes.
I don't either. I don't know. I think there's a lot less dead bodies in the American version I watched as a kid because I would have remembered them. But I don't think they were there.
Sure.
I'm probably going to get destroyed on YouTube here.
If he's wrong, I want you guys to tell him what a fucking idiot he is. Yeah. I want you to do it.
You just say an idiot. You don't have to say the F word if you don't want to. All right, Dan? Gosh.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay, whatever.
Or you can say it in Japanese. You can be like, Bakayara.
But yeah, I mean, I know there's less blood, and I think there's also less dead bodies too.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Vegeta brings them into the medical room. We have a funny little bit where Goku is afraid of needles.
Yep. Of course.
And then Gohan is like, "Oh, father, how pathetic." Yeah. It's a funny little line. Because even Gohan isn't afraid of needles.
Embarrassing. Especially if it's Vegeta. You know, it's like, dude, are you kidding me?
Right. Frieza is still fighting Nail, a fight that was one chapter, I think, in the manga, has taken 5 episodes so far.
Yeah.
But it just keeps coming back, and Nail just is falling on the ground going, I can't take any more of this.
And the thing is, Frieza's not even exerting any kind of energy.
He's in no hurry.
He's just having a good time, hanging out, doing Frieza stuff. But like the truth is, Nail wasn't even one punch worthy of fighting Frieza. I mean, like with one punch, she'd be dead.
Right.
Or if he wanted to.
So to cap off this episode, they put Goku in a back to tank.
Love the back to tank. We're back in the back to tank.
And we have a time constraint too, because Vegeta, as we know, blew up the newer model in a previous episode when Zarbon brought him back. So now he's using an older model, which doesn't work as well. So it's going to take 50 minutes and approximately 20 episodes for Goku to heal.
It says 50 minutes for you. The Japanese version I watched today said 30 minutes.
Oh, the Japanese version. We might be watching the same one. Wait, I don't know which ones we're watching. Did you watch on Crunchyroll?
I might have watched Crunchyroll, or I don't know the version, or your version. I don't know. But
I watched the completely legitimate version available for purchase in the United States.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, he said 40 to 50 minutes.
Well, that makes more sense because 30 minutes is way too long because he's in that back to tank for a couple episodes.
For like 20 episodes.
A lot of episodes.
Yeah. So, it takes 30 minutes, which of course is 20 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. And Vegeta is like very dramatically like, he's like knocking stuff over. I'm so sleepy.
Yeah.
And Krillin's like, are you all right, dude? He's like, leave me alone. He's so tired.
I mean, even in this episode, Dan, I remember looking at that, I'm like, what happened to Vegeta to where he's like, did he get like punched somewhere? Like, what happened? Did he get kick the nuts?
Did he get
like,
poisoned?
Yeah, like, is he poisoned?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? And he knocks over like the pill. There's a pill jar he knocks over, and the pills are I'm like, what the hell is he doing? So they're just trying to basically make a quick, easy excuse for Vegeta having to take a nap to get energy back somehow.
Right. Oh, and we forgot to mention that both Krillin and Gohan get cool little armor.
That's important to note.
Frieza Force armor.
That's important to note because like I remember seeing the manga back in the day and artwork, and I was like, oh man, like in the Raditz era, I saw some, you could see ahead, you could see on, online, like some photos and stuff, and it's like Gohan's wearing Saiyan armor, Krillin's wearing Saiyan armor. I was like, oh, it's so cool.
What is that gonna be?
Yeah, I love the Saiyan armor. It's probably my favorite of the armor. I like the sleeveless ones, obviously. No, I don't need the shoulder pad. You don't like football style shoulder pads.
The big clunky things right down.
I don't need that. I like the Vegeta version, the old school one. I think it's the best looking of the armors, and I think Saiyan armor, as far as all the armor in Dragon Ball, is some of the coolest. So it's cool to see Krillin and Gohan actually wearing that kind of armor for the first time there.
I agree. I remember I would go to Chinatown and get poker cards that were Dragon Ball Z cards, and you would see that kind of stuff on there with everyone wearing the Saiyan armor in the Room of Spirit and Time, or them doing this, and you're just like, oh my god, are they gonna go on an adventure together, all the Saiyans? So yeah, pretty cool moment. Is episode 74. Last thing.
All right, let's knock these out.
Episode 75. Password is Purunga.
Password is Purunga.
It starts off with Gohan checking himself out in the water in his new Saiyan armor, and he's like, I wonder if I look stronger. And he starts punching and kicking and doing all these poses.
He does a cool little flurry.
Right. And then Vegeta, I think, makes a comment like, what a dumbass, or something like that. And I gotta say, with all the filler that we've seen of Gohan, the filler in Dragon Ball Z really humanizes him. Mm-hmm. He really has these human experiences. We really get to see him doing these human real little kid moments, looking at himself, checking himself out, like, am I actually stronger? I wonder if I look stronger. That's cool. Dende, meanwhile, comes across the dead bodies of Berter and Goldo.
Right.
Because Raccoon is vaporized.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he's running into Krillin. He's like, no, Krillin.
He's like, oh, wait, who is that? Oh, no.
No, that's not them.
That's not Krillin and Gohan.
Yeah. And then Vegeta is so mad at himself for how tired he is. He's like, I can't believe the great Vegeta has come to this.
Right.
I need to nap.
And so he sets his timer for 30 minutes to take a nap.
Right. And Gohan is judgmental as shit here. He's like, dude, Frieza could come back at any minute and you're going to take a nap? What a loser.
I don't know. Yeah, the truth is, I don't know why he would be napping right now. I don't know why Goku's so comfortable in the back. I know he has to recover, but like, if I'm there, I'm like, dude, Frieza could come back and he can destroy us with one shot and all of us. They're a little more relaxed than you would imagine being at the bad guy's headquarters.
Right.
Who can fly really fast and has the power to destroy the whole planet with his finger.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I think they're relying on the fact that they'll be able to sense him coming.
Yeah, true.
I guess. And Vegeta's like, you know what? I haven't slept in days. I need to actually sleep. This is not any way to live. And meanwhile, speaking of Frieza, Nail has held out for a full 6 episodes at this point.
Round of applause, Nail. You are a survivor.
He is the most resilient character in the show. His power being so dwarfed by Frieza.
I mean, just amazing, Nail.
Frieza, like, Bruce Lee punches him, like, whoosh, and hits him in the face, and it hurts him so bad that he becomes a little bitch again.
Yep.
He betrays everybody, and he basically is like, ha ha ha. The Earthlings are going to get their wish now because you've been wasting all of your time with me. Instead of fulfilling the Grand Elder's task, which is to hold out as long as he can, which is basically, you got to give your life to make sure that the friends can come back. Because that means another set of Dragon Balls. That means more people that can stand up against Frieza, potentially. But Nail reveals the entire plan. Frieza freaks out, and now Frieza is blasting at full speed back towards his ship. So
stupid, Nail. I wouldn't have said shit. I would have just been like, dude, you just got to die.
Right.
You gotta keep him there as long as you can. Let him not know what's going on. He said, no, I'm going to tell you the plan. You know what? This happens all the time, actually. I can't even judge him. It happens all the time in series for narrative purposes, just to move the plot along. But Nail, you really screwed the pooch on that one.
Right.
One other important note is Vegeta's alarm clock. I want one of those.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
Scouters are very popular in the fandom anime Dragon Ball world, but I think that little top pop clock that he has that he uses to take his nap, I think Vegeta's clock is cool. So I want
super retro.
I want one of those retro Frieza alarm clocks.
Right.
Just saying. Just side tangent.
And there's shit with Captain Ginyu trying to steal one of the Dragon Balls as a frog. This is when he gets assaulted by the pink frog.
Yeah.
Right here. But meanwhile, Dende arrives at the ship.
Yeah.
And they decide, okay, Vegeta's asleep. We're going to take the Dragon Balls a little bit away. And we're going to make a wish. But just at that moment, everybody starts to sense, oh shit, Frieza is on his way.
Boom.
He is coming. And then Dende uses the password. He calls Purunga.
And can I just give you? I'm going to interrupt you real quick here.
Go
in a good way. Thank you, Dende, for actually doing this shit real quick. Because we don't have another episode to spare, and to be honest, I don't want to wait there sitting for you guys to talk about summoning the dragon anymore. Okay?
Right.
I've been there for 30 episodes. I feel like I'm on an old man rant. Oh, but seriously, thank God, because Nail had to stop him for 5 hours at least. When Dende gets there, Gohan and Krillin say, "Hey, let's do it immediately. You're here." They do it.
They do it.
One of the few times in the series at this point in the episodes where they're actually like, "Hey, we're gonna get it done." So thank you so much, Dende, for just calling the damn dragon.
A lot less talk and just a little more action.
Yeah,
and it's good. He calls the dragon. So this is our first look at the Namekian dragon.
Yeah,
who just drinks all the creatine.
He's huge.
Yeah, he is jacked.
He's got the traps going, the arms. Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of, for fans of Homestar Runner back in the day, kind of Trogdor, where he's a dragon with giant beefy arms and stuff.
A little bit like Genie from Aladdin. Or definitely like Shenlong is more of a traditional dragon,
like
right?
A serpentine Chinese dragon. Yeah.
And Purunga has definitely more of a... What's the word for the human form?
Kind of like a titan, I guess.
Kind of like a titan.
Yeah, from Greek mythology or something, but more dragon-esque. And that's where we leave off in that episode.
Perfect.
So they summon Purunga, and Dende's like, what do you want the wish to be? Because Purunga's a very annoying dragon. It speaks Japanese, but it can only be spoken to in Namekian, which is super dumb. What can you do? But it's a plot device where it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, what can you do? Like you said. And so they say, okay, we would want you to bring everybody that the Saiyans killed back to life.
And just so you know, this is episode 76, Piccolo's Return.
Right. That's right. Episode 76, Piccolo's Return. They say, please bring back everybody killed by the Saiyans on Earth.
We cut to
King
Kai's planet.
King Kai's planet, yeah. Oh, everyone's excited they're going to come back to life. Everyone's, finally this moment that we've been building to. But Purunga said, I can't do that. Bringing people back from the dead, I can only do it one at a time.
One wish per person. I'm like, what?
Right. Which triggers a debate on King Kai's planet.
Yeah.
Between... Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu get pretty petty.
Yeah, pretty small, pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, they're all arguing. The only tactician in the room is Piccolo.
Right.
Who hijacks King Kai.
Yeah.
And says, let me talk to everybody. Tells them everybody, guys, bring me back to life. If I come back to life, Kami comes back to life, and then there's more Dragon Balls.
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh, guys, come on. Like, probably Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha's worst look. Like, as far as, like, really, dudes? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be smart about this. And they just did not care. Like, we want to get the hell off this planet.
Yeah. Everyone's just like...
And Yamcha jumps up first, like, yeah, you should, like, revive me first. I'm like, dude, you'll be the first one to go.
And then Piccolo... Also, I mean, this is Piccolo being petty, but in the best possible way.
Right.
He's like, for the second wish, bring me to Namek.
Right.
I want to go to my home world. I want to fight Frieza. Sorry, King Kai. I lied to you. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I totally am. And everyone's now pissed off at him, including King Kai. Meanwhile, Vegeta now wakes up because he senses Frieza's coming. Right. He looks outside and he's like, what? It's nighttime.
Right.
And then...
Wait, there's no night on Namek? There's always a sun, right?
Yeah, there's 3 suns here. What is going on?
Except it's not night. It's just Purunga is amongst us.
Right. Any note that I had is that he had gotten a sensu bean from Goku when Goku arrived. So I guess even though sensu beans can heal broken bones and ruptured organs, they cannot heal your tiredness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating as hell.
He needed that nap, and it gave our heroes plenty of time. So now Vegeta's coming, and everybody's like, oh, shit. Okay, sure. Do the wish. It's like, uh-oh. Vegeta shows up. He's super pissed off. He's gonna murder them all. Frieza is gunning it towards the ship at this point.
Yeah, so Frieza's on his way back, and they, the second wish I want to talk about a little bit more with the Piccolo situation real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to mention that is that not only was it just a petty move, like it's pretty pointless because like King Kai was very clear. He's like, hey dude, he's like, I've been training you, but you're not a match. Like even Goku after my training is still not a match for Frieza.
Right.
He's like this would be just it's a ridiculous waste of a wish in my opinion. But I get it. You want to see his home planet before spoiler alert, it does get destroyed. But at the same time, like I don't know. I think like revive him, but bring him back to Earth. He's not going to do much good on planet Namek. I mean, even if you've seen it for the first time, I think you can pretty clearly figure that like, hey, Frieza's already handled Nail, and he was their strongest fighter, no problem. We know at this point that even Vegeta says Goku at a powered up stage is no match for Frieza at this point. Then and you got to always assume that Piccolo is going to be less strong than Goku at this point in the series. So it's like, come on, bro.
But you gotta love that cocksure attitude. You gotta love that Piccolo's coming back. Yeah. Except
I love Piccolo. Like I'm glad he went to Namek, but I'm just saying from a logistic, strategic perspective, waste of a wish, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. You can make that case. But
I love Piccolo. He's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Also, Dende didn't transport Piccolo to where they were. He just brought him to a random place on the planet Namek.
Big planet.
So Piccolo arrives on Namek and he's like, wow, this is my home world. Vegeta shows up at the site of the dragon. He's threatening everybody, and with the third wish, Krillin just throws all caution to the wind. He's like, fine, make him immortal. Do it. And now, to contradict the note that you made earlier, Dende is now dragging his feet.
Right.
He couldn't grant wishes quick enough before.
Now he had to slow down.
Yeah, now he's got some reservations because Vegeta has, a
timeout. Now that we're talking about this situation with Vegeta.
Yes.
I think it's important to note right now that why wouldn't they have just used the wish to say, why don't you just make Goku immortal, right? But you mentioned earlier episode, it has to be they cannot grant a wish that's out of the request of the person who's being wished upon or whatever. Like so if Goku
the creator.
Like if Goku didn't want to be immortal, then he wouldn't be able to use that ability.
Oh, no, you're right, because they want to bring him to Earth, and he says no.
Yeah.
So, Piranga can't grant a wish if somebody is unwilling.
But I'm just saying, if I'm them, I'm like, you know what, screw it. Just to say, we want Goku to be immortal. Like, why wouldn't you try that first?
Right.
I would definitely do that. Okay, continue.
No, totally. So no, that's a great point. They should have done that. I mean, I think that Krillin just got a little scared right here. He's like, just fuck it. Just Vegeta's our best bet. Let's do it.
Right.
Dende is in the process of making the wish when all of a sudden Piranga just flashes out of existence and the Dragon Balls don't shoot off.
Yeah.
They fall to the ground as stone.
Different kind of animation in this one too.
Right.
You never see it dissipate like that. Like it's a death. I mean, poor guy's passed. The Grand Elder, that means he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dende is crying, oh, the Grand Elder is dead.
Yeah.
Vegeta's about to kill all of them, and then he looks up, and perched above them is Frieza.
Dun, dun, dun. Frieza finally here versus the Z Fighters on Planet Namek. So I'm excited for this next episode coming up.
Here we go. This episode 77, called The Fusion, which another spoiler episode.
No. Is it not that fusion?
No, not that one.
Okay, this is a different
even though
kind of
Piccolo
fusion.
does know that dance, he's the one who teaches it to them. So
a different fusion.
A different fusion, yeah. So the Japanese title is very spoilery. It's called. It heavily implies that they merge, even though they haven't even met yet. That we've seen. Frieza is pissed. Vegeta's like, you finally show your true nature, because we got to remember Frieza's only ever polite.
Yeah.
Even when he's being his most evil, he's really polite. And now he's screaming bloody murder. And Vegeta loves it.
Yeah.
He's like, I love that Frieza's losing his fucking mind here. It's great. Piccolo meets Nail. It's a very brief exchange at first where he says, "You'll pardon me if I just let you die here because I gotta go." Hold on, let me make sure that's not vibrating.
There we go. We're all good.
There we go. Yeah,
123.
It's like, "You'll pardon me if I just let you die here."
Mm-hmm.
And Nail's like, "Wait a minute, I hold on." Oh, one cool thing that Nail is able to discern is that Piccolo is not whole. He says there's part of you that's missing.
Yes.
It's too bad. If you were whole with your current power, you might actually stand a chance against Frieza.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. How strong was Kami Piccolo in the beginning?
What an oversight.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then he offers to fuse with Piccolo. Yeah, and then Vegeta and Frieza start fighting. Vegeta's not doing too bad. He's kind of holding his own.
He's having some fun. He's stepped up his game.
They're hand wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of fun because a lot of posturing's going on here too. Frieza's talking a lot of trash to Vegeta. Vegeta's talking trash back, saying, you're always trash. I was like, you're always my favorite kind of puppy kind of situation.
Right.
To Vegeta, pissing him off.
That's why I let you live while I murdered the rest of those monkeys.
All your family, which they get to in the next episode too. But on this one, it is pretty cool because, you do get to see Vegeta fighting Frieza, like you said, and like he's doing a pretty damn decent job.
Totally.
Didn't expect that. Even Vegeta, I think he does brag about his thing. It's like you could tell Vegeta's actually he's being confident, but he's actually not being cocky because he knows he knows he's not using his power. But Vegeta's also not going to stand down from an opportunity to try to show Frieza that he can, stand up to him.
Oh, totally. It's probably what he wants more than anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that Vegeta, the planet is gone. He doesn't care about his family. He just wants to defeat Frieza for all the years of humiliation that he personally
or die trying, or willing to die trying, which is pretty cool.
Or die trying. Piccolo and Nail merge. Piccolo has this amazing moment where we're treated to a variant of the Piccolo theme song. Yeah. It's different than we've ever heard it before. I believe this is the first time. He's super stoked. He's like, "Oh, I am stronger than Frieza now.
Right.
Somehow I'm stronger than Frieza. At least Frieza as he currently is."
Yeah.
Frieza is just randomly blowing up rocks with his hand that people are hiding behind. And then Vegeta, goes against him, but commands Frieza to transform.
Right.
Because I heard from Zarbon that you get stronger when you transform. Why don't you show me your true form so I can defeat you for real? So I can show you just how badly I'm going to get revenge against you for all the times that you hurt me and made me your puppet and all that stuff. And Frieza's like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah, so Frieza is like, sure, and he powers up and he knocks off his armor. Yeah. That's really all that changes his first transformation, really. He gets a little bit bigger, I think he mentions he grows like 2 inches and his armor breaks off. So this is still this is like Frieza form 1.5. Not even second transformation, really.
He breaks it off, it's unremarkable, and then we get right into episode 78, Fighting Power 1 Million, where he breaks it off again, repeating the thing, but this time a shard of it slices Vegeta's cheek open.
Yep, he does this wipes it off.
Right. Immediately stops bleeding. Heals very fast.
Very fast. Saiyan healing ability.
Right. And I mean, Frieza tells a little story that is kind of a retcon in and of itself, where because King Vegeta, Vegeta's father, was so mad at him, he led a revolt against Frieza, actually, which that was the actual impetus for
the destruction
of Vegeta, even though King Vegeta was weaker than Child Vegeta. Yeah. So, totally pointless. They show the footage from the Bardock special, which in that special, we're told the reason he wants to kill the Saiyans is because of Bardock and his friends. They're getting too strong. They're becoming stronger than most of Frieza's force. And Saiyans aren't supposed to do that. And he's afraid of a Super Saiyan emerging. So because of Bardock and his friends, that's why he kills a Saiyan. This is sort of a retcon to a non-canon, slightly canon, occasional canon thing here.
It's so weird. Okay, so let's just talk about this real quick. Let's etch it out here. I think for purposes of this Dragon Ball Z Megapod, that it's dealer's choice, okay? It's bartender's choice. I say, however you feel about the whole Vegeta, Bardock, their relationship with Frieza goes, I think everyone has their different story. It's like Clue. You know, everyone has a different side of the story.
I believe that Bardock, the father of Goku, the TV special, is canon.
Right.
And everything Bardock that ever came after that is not canon.
Yeah, see, for me, it doesn't even matter. I'm just like, you know what? I think of what I saw before the Bardock special anyway. So I think that Frieza destroyed the planet after he killed Vegeta and all the rest of them and said, hey, I'm just going to kill you guys.
Right.
So like for me, it's like, yeah, does the other stuff work? Absolutely. Is it canon? Absolutely. But I do think this is one of the few times in Dragon Ball Z where you can kind of say, you know what? Pick your poison. It's not wrong, or enjoy the version you want to enjoy.
Right.
We have been getting a lot of that on socials. So thank you for chiming in, because there is a lot of in the whole fandom. There's a lot of discrepancies about what happened, what didn't happen, and what's the right way to look at it. And I say, you know what? I was like, whatever makes you happy, man. It's totally kind of how I feel about this, and I don't think we can argue that too much, right?
Yeah. I agree. It is kind of funny, though, this little revolt that King Vegeta leads, because what was the plan? Yeah. All of these guys are they invade Frieza's ship. Yeah. They're all so much weaker than him.
Yeah.
They don't have any special technique. They don't have a Mafuba to trap him in a rice cooker.
He even mentions that they're like low level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even says like, oh, well, you know, best of luck. But, you know, these are guys like who've been living on some random planet, like, not even strong enough to take over a planet, probably.
Right. And then Frieza breaks out of his little exposition. He drinks some of that Purunga creatine, and he just grows a little bit bigger. His horns go a little bit longer.
Yeah. Grow up like this. Devil horns now.
Right.
He gets huge, actually.
His second form, he says he has a power level over 1 million.
1 million.
Which is crazy. Yeah, he does a Nappa-esque attack where he just creates an explosion that just blows up around him and vaporizes everything in the area. And then he decides, you know, he looks around, he's like, which one of you insects am I going to kill first? And then he's like, oh, I've decided. And he just bull charges literally Krillin and just impales him on his horn.
Right on the right side of his chest, kind of a little bit below where Ginyu got impaled himself, but that's a cool moment, man.
And because his face is draining of blood, it's turning blue. Frieza's like drinking his blood as it runs down his horn, down his face into his mouth. It's a sinister moment.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked. It's a great moment though, because it's like, oh shit, like we've been waiting for something real to happen for a while as far as like stakes,
right?
And this just raises stakes a lot. It's like Krillin, if he's alive right now, he's not alive for much longer.
There are no Dragon Balls. Oh, well, there are. The Earth ones are back.
But looking at judging by the size of that horn hole going through his chest, even Krillin's like, oh shit, I think I'm done, and it's not looking good.
And like Evangelion in the original releases would just cut to fly me to the moon. Krillin's just like, oh God, I've been impaled. It's bleeding, and then just cuts to Miracle Zenkai power.
I know.
It's so awesome. I love it.
But I'll tell you this, before we finish this episode, what else you got to touch on this episode?
I think I'm good. Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's a great ending point, but I do want to have time for a quick final thoughts on Dragon Ball Z Megapod. Now, earlier I was discussing off pod with Dan. You know, Frieza, he finally does some damage here. He hurts Krillin pretty much near death. We'll know sooner than later what really happens, but in the next episode. But Frieza, I think in general, will be a great leader if he wasn't a fascist dictator-esque, Mussolini, Hitler-esque, murderous villain.
Totally.
I think he would be a great leader. He's calm under pressure in most situations. He has only held himself with the highest regard. He treats all of his underlings fairly well. He might talk trash, but he doesn't really do them wrong.
He might occasionally murder one.
Well, that's just to keep everyone else in line. Okay. But in general, he's pretty fair in my opinion as far as how he handles his people. He's willing to let his commanders, commandants, and all of his lieutenants do their job. He doesn't try to step over him. He's not an overbearing boss.
He's not a micromanager.
Yeah, he's not a micromanager. He trusts him. He says, hey, you're going to get those Dragon Balls? I trust you. Go get them. Bring them back. You know, a couple hours.
He delegates and he lets his people operate with autonomy.
He trusts his crew. You know, he's like, okay, maybe even when his normal crew wasn't going to get done, he's like, you know what, guys? It's okay. I'm going to call in the Ginyu squad, the special forces, because you can't handle this. But I'm not that mad. I'll get it taken care of. Very calmly, very coolly. He takes care of business.
I think in that case, he was pretty pissed at Zarbon.
Well, he was pissed, but still. I mean, Zarbon...
Who doesn't get a little pissed every now and then? Doesn't mean he's a bad leader.
Well, he does threaten Zarbon pretty bad.
He does, yeah.
He threatens to kill him, but does he? No, he doesn't kill Zarbon. Okay,
I think you're making the counter argument right here.
You know what?
I hear what you're saying. There are positive leadership qualities.
He has some great positive leadership qualities
that are embedded inside of this horrible fascistic monster.
Yeah, exactly.
His politeness, for one, his ability to delegate.
So polite.
I mean, it very much is a Japanese thing. Like, he is a daimyo, and he just has his samurai beneath him. Exactly. And they are just expected to do their work without a ton of heavy-handed, overbearing micromanaging of any kind.
Yeah. But then again, when Frieza does have to get involved, he says, hey guys, come with me, watch. This is how we're going to do it. And he leads by example. He goes to the Namek villages and says, hey, I'll take care of this. I'm going to handle it. And he does what he has to do there. Do I know what really happens? Let's not argue about the little things, you know, the children and whatever. It's just,
those are just numbers.
Yeah, this is just numbers. Frieza goes and gets the job done, you know? So...
what kind of life did they live anyway? They couldn't even eat food.
Yeah, they just drink water. No, I'm just kidding. But Frieza does have a couple of interesting qualities that you're like, you know what? That's what makes him a great character. That's how I should put it. Is that he is an interesting character because he has qualities that you can find, okay, that would make a good leader if he wasn't a terrible person and a genocidal maniac.
A story that I love, and I don't know if it's true, but Masako Nozawa told a story about how whenever she interacts with the voice actor who plays Frieza, it's always very, very tense. Mm-hmm. And she will always make little jokes where if he says something that, you know, maybe is uncouth or displeases her or something like that, she'll say, like, I knew you were just a bastard the whole time. That it's a very, very tense thing. But that voice actor, the name is escaping me off the top of my head because we've been talking for an incredibly long amount of time right now.
Yeah.
But amazing voice actor, true legend. The Japanese voice actor of Frieza. And I would even give props to every single voice actor that I've ever heard do it. Especially the late Funimation actor, who I think his name was Chris Ayres, who recently died, unfortunately, who took over in Kai. Amazing performance. Linda, I forget her last name, who did it, and she did a great job as well.
Yes, she did. So we just want to say thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dragon Ball Z Megapod on NerdyJock_media's sites. Follow us on all the socials, listen to us on the audio platforms, and watch all our cool videos on YouTube because we're bringing more to you. So
thank you so much for your support.
And we'll see you next week, okay?
And we'll be picking up with the manga moving forward.
Manga moving forward. Frieza Saga. Let's go. Nice, bro.